Patrick Mahomes put an old adage to rest. Why? Mahomes accounted for 17.6% of Kansas City's salary cap in 2022. Bump, that is the most ever for a Super Bowl winner. Prior to Mahomes, Tom Brady had the two highest spots. So he set the new record at 12.6% with the 2021 Super Bowl victory, coincidentally over the Chiefs. And then before that, he was the record holder with 12.4. So about 12.5% before this for both times for Tom Brady. The average percentage for a quarterback to win the Super Bowl is 10% because there have been some rookies in there that are bringing it down. But overall, we haven't seen something like this. We've seen guys enter a Super Bowl even higher than this. Peyton Manning with 18% for the Colts, but never has a quarterback won a Super Bowl accounting for this high a percentage of the salary cap.
And I'm glad to see it. I wanted Philadelphia to win this game. I was rooting for Philly. But either way, it was going to be a win because you're going to get a complete team with a quarterback who was underrated, counted out, persevere, and win a game. And then on the other side, you have the guy who's the face of the NFL now, and he was going to do something that hadn't been done before. Mm-hmm. And that's an argument that we hear all the time, especially when it comes to this Geno situation. Not saying Geno is Patrick Mahomes. Simmer down now. Don't come after me, all right?
Just don't even take that thought out of your mind. Right? The response that you had, take it out of your mind.
Think that thought, okay? But Pat Mahomes is doing some things that we just love to see. He's winning ball games. He's the second quarterback to win an MVP in the season and to win a Super Bowl. And now he's shattering the notion that you can't win with your quarterback being paid X amount of dollars. It's not common that it happens, but you can no longer say it can't be done. You cannot operate that way. You cannot build a team that way. I don't think it's the most consistent way to do it, but when teams go after it like that, you can no longer say it can't be done. It's another possibility, another way of doing business.
Well, and also I want to add on that I don't want to see the goalposts keep moving on this one, right? Because what you're going to start seeing is, okay, well, sure, it was 17%, but it was Patrick Mahomes. That's different. So then what if someone else does it? What if Joe Burrow gets money and it's, okay, well, it's Patrick Mahomes and Joe Burrow. They're the only ones who do it. Yeah, it is significantly harder to win a Super Bowl with that much of your salary cap going to a quarterback because you're usually a really good team that's not getting high draft picks and you're not able to stock up in the same way. So either you got to hit on more draft picks, which is really hard to do, hit on trades and free agency, or have that quarterback be so dang good that he makes up for holes you have elsewhere. Luckily for the Chiefs, they happen to have a lot of that. They've hit on draft picks, right? They've had great contributions from starters, and they've stayed, for the most part, pretty dang healthy. So you ended up, getting away with having that. I know, Bump, I sense it. I smell it in the air. I sense it, that the conversation is going to become, well, it's Patrick Mahomes. He's the outlier.
And he is.
Yeah,
he
of course.
Every now and then you get a player like that.
Truth.
Yeah, exactly. You can have both. You can say, okay, Pat Mahomes shattered that he can't get paid X amount of dollars and win a Super Bowl. You can also say that Pat Mahomes is a special type of dude. He's a baller. He's a gamer. I think Jalen Hurts outplayed Patrick Mahomes for the most part of the game. But when it was time to win, Patrick Mahomes says, look, I'm league MVP. I've done this before. I've won a Super Bowl. This is my time to shine. And then I just look at the Kansas City Chiefs salary and guys who are getting paid. And their top 5 guys are getting money right now. Patrick's getting 45. Jones is getting 20. Orlando Brown's getting 16. Thoney's getting 16. Frank is getting 15. Travis is getting 14.
And all those guys are performing and living up to it.
All performing. So it's all about how you want to spend your money. No one can look at my bank account, look at my bills, and tell me how to spend my money. As long as the bills are paid, all right, the family's good, we still get our vacation, the kids got everything they need, the wife can go get her nails done every week. Don't tell me how to spend my money. We good as working over here. You might have the same salary that I have and have some of the same expenses, but you choose to spend your money elsewhere in a different way, and it works for you. I think that's what Casey is showing
Well,
us.
and it's about having the funds that you have invested pay off. Like that list you just read has this year's MVP. It has a candidate for Defensive Player of the Year in Chris Jones. It has the guy who led the league in receiving touchdowns with Travis Kelce. And it has a guy that I think has like a record for postseason sacks. You know what I mean? Like you want to talk about where your money's going? You're seeing the return with not just above average play, but with really, really impactful play. League-leading performances from the guys on this roster. If you look at the top 5 paid players for the Seahawks, and I don't just want to throw the Seahawks out here, for really any team, what's the return you're getting? That's really what it comes down to. Like, you can have this percentage going to, 4 guys if those guys are really performing.
Right.
like you look at Seattle's top paid, and you've got
You got-
Quandre Diggs, who's great. Jamal, or
I'll
you
run
have
it
the
through.
list.
DK's number 1.
Okay.
Jamal's number 2. Lockett 3. Diggs 4. And Nwosu 5.
Nwosu.
Yeah.
So, I mean, all great players. None of them are guys I would want to move on from.
Mm-hmm.
Were any league leaders in one particular category?
No. And
Were any defensive or offensive player of the year?
No.
And again, I love these players. I would never in a million years think like they aren't good. But when you talk about having that much invested, and to be fair, the Chiefs have more invested in some of these guys than do the Seahawks. That's the kind of return you're looking for.
Here's the difference. Real quick, I'll look at Philly as well. Their top 5, you got Brown, Thompson, Slay, Mailata, and Reddick. The only difference between the Seahawks and the 2 teams that competed in the Super Bowl last night is that the Hawks have no one in their top 5 on the O-line or on the D-line. Both of these teams who competed last night have invested on O-line and D-line. So I'm not mad how the Hawks are spending their money, but it's a copycat league, right? These 2 teams are competing. We got to spend money in them trenches.